everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm talking to you about my first dose of the Pfizer vaccine. So backstory, I live in Sydney and I am absolutely terrified to my core of needles. The whole idea that I had to get a needle, can I just tell you, I was borderline having a panic attack in a very real way. And I just wanted to share my experience with you guys and possibly even just help one person, because honestly, I watched every YouTube video. I read so many articles on how to get over fears of needles, how to get through getting a needle, things to do while you're getting a needle. Like, I researched it all and I wanted to give you guys my experience. So living in Sydney, I don't live in one of the high risk, like affected LGAs they call them, so the local government areas that have a lot of cases. However, I do travel to a affected area for work, so they don't prioritize at the moment. When I'm filming this video, they are not prioritizing anyone who doesn't live in those affected LGAs. So I was on that Hot Doc app and also calling around a few places for maybe like 2 weeks to try and find anywhere who can do Pfizer. I wanted the Pfizer, not AstraZeneca, for personal reasons. But, you know, I've heard good and bad things about both, but I just personally wanted Pfizer. So I ended up finding a place actually really close to my house, like walking distance to my house, which was amazing. So how this particular place worked is they have an initial consultation. So you ring up, make an appointment, you see the doctor, and then once the doctor goes through the paperwork with you and your consultation, then you have to book another appointment to come back and do your first dose, and then of course come back and do your second. So while we were there, the consultation was basically, they just go through all the risks, the side effects, just make sure you're not allergic to anything, that you're fit and healthy basically, and then you fill in the paperwork. So while I was with my husband as well. So after we had had our individual consultations, then we were sitting down just filling in the paperwork. One of the nurses came up to us and just said, like, how old are you? Because they actually had a few cancellations during the day, and she's like, we could do your shots today. Can I just tell you, I was not prepared to have the vaccination that day. I was going to the doctor to have a consultation. I wasn't going to have a needle. So I initially freaked out. Panic literally took over my body, and I was just freaking out at the thought that this was going to happen. In hindsight, it was probably the best thing that did happen, to be honest, but I will get to that. So she went and spoke to a different nurse, came back and confirmed that they could do it today, like that day. And I was like, no, I'm not prepared, I'm not ready. And she was like, it's okay, you can come back. And then I was like, do you know what? This is gonna happen. Get it over and done with. Just get it over and done with. So the nurse took me, just me, into the room where she was gonna give me the needle. And I was like freaking out because I wanted my husband there to like hold his hand, and just, I was terrified, absolutely terrified. So he came in like a few seconds later, which I am so grateful for, that he was just there to hold my hand, because I was literally shaking and terrified and just freaking out. The nurse did say usual circumstances, absolutely, they would not let a second person into the room. Obviously, with what's happening in the world, it's as minimal people as possible. But she did say because of how I feel and like my situation, she's like, it's fine. So I was straight up with the nurse. I was like, I need to like talk to you and I need to be real with you because I have a massive fear of needles. I feel so scared, terrified, like I don't want to do this, and I am scared that I might faint when this has happened. Like, you know that feeling how you're just so anxious, the adrenaline's pumping through you, you're like sweating. That's exactly what was going through me. And she was actually so lovely, so patient, so understanding. She was telling me that she's actually scared of getting needles herself. Like, she's fine to give them, but she was like, she used to be so scared to get them. So I don't know, I just related with her, and she was such a gentle lady, like just so calming, and I really appreciated her. So basically I sat down holding my husband's hand like so tight, freaking out. And you know how they like clean your arm with like whatever that is, basically before the needle went in? She did that and I was like, oh my god, like freaked out because I thought it was happening. And literally I just sat on the chair squeezing my husband's hand. She was tapping my shoulder, which I was really concerned about, and then I felt it go in. To be honest, it was a tiny little like sting, like it felt like a little bit of pressure, but in literally like 2 seconds it was over, and I was like, oh my god, is that it? Like honestly, I cannot tell you how much the build up in my body was, and then it was like, oh, that's it. Like honestly, I felt so relieved. I felt so confused that was it. So I had a lot of adrenaline going through me, so I was like, thank you so much, but I just need to sit here. Like, I don't want to move until like you get my husband's over and done with and we have to like leave this room, because I was just scared that because of what was going, like the feeling going through me, and I was still super anxious and like coming down, that I was going to stand up and feel like something. So I just sat there for like a couple of minutes, and then like I actually did feel totally fine. There was like no issues at that stage at all. I did drink like water as we were sitting there as well, just in case, because I kind of had the hot, like cold sweats. But yeah, so from there, after the needle, we basically sat, my dog, he's always in the background. We sat in the waiting room for about 15 minutes. She checked up on us again and just made sure we were all good, weren't feeling anything. I left and then I went to Coles and we needed to grab a few things for dinner. Again, it was not planned to have the needle, so I was like wanting to get that done quick because I didn't know if any side effects were gonna hit me hard or like feel some kind of way, because we had walked there as well. So yeah, quickly grabbed some things. I bought a chocolate because I just felt like I wanted sugar. I don't know why, good excuse for chocolate, I guess. Went home and then that's it. Now, the side effects that I felt, so it is just over 24 hours since it's happened when I'm filming this. My arm, so it went in this arm, my arm was pretty sore, to be honest. Like I couldn't lay on it, I definitely couldn't lift it, so it hurts about there still, but it's really like a dull pain. Whereas like yesterday I could not do this. I like was struggling so much. So for me, I'm so grateful because like someone I know, she had like pains in her legs and her ankles, and she just felt like she had headaches and she was nauseous as well. My husband was totally fine. He had a bit of a sore arm. Tiredness, both of us did feel a little bit tired, but super like happy with how we felt afterwards. So I just wanted to basically do this video to like give you guys some hope that if I can do this, you can definitely do this. I promise you. Like, I promise you, it is really not as bad as I anticipated at all. The tips that I would definitely give you, so as I said, I was watching so many YouTube videos and also reading heaps of articles. It kind of depends on the type of person you are. So I was going for the whole exposure therapy might help me. So I was feeling a bit sick and feeling a little anxious, like reading and watching everything. But for me, I kind of did feel like I got some tips and some things that did help me. So a few people say that you can like clench like your stomach or like clench your hand and like focus on like doing something like that. I was just holding onto the chair. So I do think that that distracted me. So one hand on the chair, one hand holding my husband's hand, and I was just, yeah, focusing on that. Another thing is that I think helped me was drink heaps of water before and afterwards, and also maybe just bring a little bit like a snack with you. Probably I would suggest like a sugary type snack is probably best in case your blood sugar drops. I'm no expert, but afterwards I just felt like, oh, I need chocolate, I want like the sugar to try and help with the come down. So the actual needle itself, probably don't look at it. Don't look at it being prepared. Don't look at it going in. That is probably one thing that will freak you out a little bit. Also, if you can, go to your local GP or go to somewhere that's not a mass vaccination clinic. For me, that was a must. The thought of lining up for ages, being in a massive room full of people getting literally vaccinated was the one thing that I knew personally I couldn't cope with. So don't put yourself in that situation if you don't feel like you're gonna cope. I feel like in that environment I would have definitely have passed out, where this was more personal and you're not like exposing yourself to hundreds of people around you getting needles. So that's also probably such a good tip. But yeah, for me, the actual experience was quite good from start to finish. In hindsight, it was the best thing that they could do it there and then, because it was going to be another month from my initial consultation to getting my first dose. So the fact that I will be fully vaccinated by basically the time I would have had my first dose, I'm so grateful for that. I would rather be, you know, done sooner rather than later. So glad. But yeah, try and not freak yourself out as much as I know you probably are right now. It is a scary time and it's a scary process. I completely understand that. This is just my experience. So for me, the shot was not bad at all. It was quite, like, it wasn't painful. The hardest thing for me was coming down from all of the adrenaline, all of the build up afterwards. That was the time that I was getting the cold sweats and just like, yeah, trying to relax and calm myself down, because it really wasn't that bad, to be very honest. So yeah, after your first dose, they do say that the side effects aren't as bad as the second. So to be honest, I am a little anxious about what is going to happen after the second, but I know I can get through this. I'm not excited about having to do a second shot, of course, but now I know it's not too bad, and now I know like techniques to get through it. I do feel a little bit more confident, but definitely still scared. So yeah, afterwards you will get, I will just show you just information. So as I said, I got the Pfizer shot, and then it just tells you, this is just about the vaccine and the benefits, so you can read that and feel also a little better about doing it. And of course, just to show you, so that is where they did it. So it's a tiny bit sore. As I said, it's just over 24 hours. I can probably take this off. Should I? I mean, I kind of feel a bit proud to have it, but let's take it off. Yeah, like you can't even see it. It's a tiny bit sore, but honestly, I feel you. I understand wholeheartedly how scary the whole process is. If you guys have any questions, definitely let me know in the comment section down below. I would be more than happy to try and help you. I hope you find this helpful in some way. I'm definitely thinking about everyone getting this done. I think that it is a good thing, but I also know that it is very mixed emotions about if you should get vaccinated or not. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, and I will see you in my next video very soon. Thanks again. Bye.